Hello everyone, how are we doing today? I hope everyone is having a great day. The weather is definitely not playing ball. And to be honest, I almost was not going to cover this topic because honestly, this man annoys me to absolutely no end. He has annoyed me for a little while, right? He's been on my annoyance radar, hence the reason why I was like, hold my tongue, I'm not going to bother. Until he went after the woman with like the $27 cupcakes.
This is why I don't feel bad about EBT being cut off in the month of November. You don't spend it right.
And I was like, do you know what? I've been sitting back, I've been watching. I may just be a random British person to you. I may just be this random girl, like, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe I don't. But I have a heart, right? I do have a heart. And what I think is going on at the minute with the fact that people are literally going starving hungry and having to like set up all of these different methods in order to get some food. I think that's absolutely deplorable. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Do I think that people should be shamed for spending their money that they get on the EBT card on some $27 cupcakes? Absolutely not. That was my final straw. Just about had enough. I'm also recovering from a cold, so I sound a little bit more huskier than normal. But I think that's just going to be a part of the video charm today. I'm feeling a little bit feisty, and I'm also just feeling a little bit meh. So, without further ado, I'm going to tell you exactly what went on and some more examples as to why this content creator pisses me off. This woman called Jade who appeared and she said, right, FYP check, as in like she's going to tell us something for her For You page just to make sure the people are watching her are the kind of people that she wants to be watching her. Right. It's a method that I see people do.
FYP check. How do you feel about the fact that yesterday we spent $27 to buy cupcakes for our son with our EBT so we could send them with him today to his ABA therapy office since his birthday's tomorrow?
If you're not from the US, it stands for Electronic Benefit Transfer, and you can get various different things such as SNAP benefit. Unfortunately, one of the things that has gone since the 1st of November, where a lot of people are going without their benefits so that they can actually access money for themselves and for their children. There's a plethora of different reasonings as to why people cannot, even if they do work, there's a lot of people out here who are working who literally cannot keep up with the bills, so they are needing some government assistance. But that assistance is not being governmented at the minute, okay? I'm not going to get into semantics of it because obviously you're not going to want a British person who's drowning on and on and on about it, although I very well could do. Anyway, beyond the point. How do you guys feel about me spending $27 on some cupcakes for her child who is autistic to bring in to his, I believe it's like some sort of like group therapy. It's a special type of class. So she's then going in there, bringing the cupcakes. And for some unknown, actually, no, I know reason, because this does not surprise me that Nate suddenly just dogged a bone to this one. He then responded and he decided to go off on her and say, you know, this is the reasoning why I do not feel bad that people's EBTs are being taken away. And that actually, why can't she make some cupcakes?
Mom that used her EBT to spend $27 worth on cupcakes so her son can take them to his ABA therapy session for his birthday. This is why I don't feel bad about EBT being cut off in the month of November. You don't spend it right, okay? $27 worth of cupcakes, I'm going to argue you can buy flour, brown sugar, eggs, and butter to make that all at home for significantly less than $27. She does this for rage bait. She starts her video off by saying, FYP check, how do you feel that I used my EBT to buy $27 worth of cupcakes? And everyone's like, I'm mad that you had to spend $27 on cupcakes. I'm mad because you used taxpayer money to buy something that is not nutritionally beneficial to your child. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Even when I worked for Head Start, if you wanted to bring something for your child's birthday, it had to be healthy. And there was a list of nutritionally approved snacks that you can bring. And that's what you should have done for your kid. Honestly, be so for real.
And I say it, I'd be lying if I said I did not expect it. I did expect it from him. I did expect it. And it's not because I've sat there and I've watched through like so many of his videos. It's because they get recommended to me. If you're not already aware, Neurodivergent Nate, he's a former special ed teacher, just loves to come on his high horse and tell all of us parents ways that we are being bad parents. He loves it. He loves it. He gets a real kick out of it. You only have to type in neurodivergent Nate and watch the sheer amount of people that have picked apart some of the comments that he has made towards people who have kids. He hates gentle parenting. He hates the fact that, you know, people pick their toddlers up. He hates the fact that people are spending, you know, SNAP benefits on some cupcakes just so that their child can feel somewhat normal and loved on their birthday. Do you know what I mean? Like, he hates that. He hates that. He's actually quite happy that people's benefits are being scrapped. He's also he made a video that was really skirting the grounds of just pure eugenics, of basically saying that two disabled people should never be allowed to have children. I feel like if you're putting out a statement like that, basically coming to an example saying that if you have two disabled people, you cannot and should not have children. And people are trying to point out in the comments, where does it end? What you're talking about is eugenics, my friend. She also said that someone who has cerebral, I can't even, really sorry, I can't pronounce it, cerebral palsy, basically essentially called them brain dead. Which was a whole thing. Yeah, that was a whole entire mess.
Disabled trans man gets top surgery. How have we come to a place in our society where we are transitioning individuals who cannot advocate for themselves? The primary caregiver, the legal guardian who okayed this, should be in prison. The medical professionals, the physicians, should lose their medical license. Because how did you sign off on the okay to do top surgery on someone who can't even speak for themselves? And what's baffling is that people are saying that this is acceptance. This is us becoming a more accepting and inclusive world. No, this is people taking advantage of those who cannot advocate or speak for themselves and pushing an agenda that is actively harming those individuals. This is honestly a crime because that individual, well, that is life-altering surgery that they just got. Honestly, these people need... be so for...
He's not brain damaged. His brain works perfectly fine. He's actually done an interview since this all happened. It's basically a degenerative condition. Your body ceases up. Your brain, fine. They usually have ways in which they can communicate. There's going to be doctors and that while watching this, which actually know what I'm talking about. But all you got to know, he was able to make this decision. The University of Minnesota student is speaking out after several right-wing commentators criticised his videos on social media related to a gender-affirming operation, drawing hateful attention and leading Meta to shut down his accounts on Instagram and Facebook. He said this: "I am publicly sharing my experience as a disabled adult and as a transgender man with cerebral palsy, but I want people to know that it is possible to be disabled and be trans," said Micah Leroy, who is the person. People are pointing this out to Nate, and guess what? Doesn't even bother to fact check it. And at this point, it's like you've made several videos on people who are clearly disabled, and it's always in a negative light. He doesn't just come after women, he also comes after disabled people as well, literally thinking that they're completely incompetent. That's my rant. Anyway, so then what we then had is Jade, who then comes back on. Bear this in mind. Nate has basically sent over his like frothing at the mouth people who also don't believe that, you know, people who are struggling and people who are on these there's government assistance, they also don't believe that these people should eat nice foods. You know, they're the type of people that are like, well, if you're poor, you should only have poor things. Like Jade had a lot at one point, because best believe his supporters are out here saying, well, she's got piercings, she's got this, she's got that, she drives a nice car. Do you not think that most people are like 2 paychecks away from being on government assistance? And now hers are being taken away along with a lot of other people.
You paid for them? Personally? Would you like to provide receipts? You could just say you're jealous I have more tattoos than you. And you're right, I am able-bodied. That's why I have 2 jobs. You paid for...
Basically saying like, nah, that kid should suffer. It comes back on And she makes this whole entire video, right? This whole video where she's saying that she actually works. Her husband is a veteran, was in the services. There he's just waiting for surgery because at the minute he's currently disabled because of something that happened when he was actually out on service. She's actually had to go to her GP to get put on an appetite suppressant just so their kids can eat. She's currently eating like 600 calories a day.
You would have also seen the video I posted in September where I discussed how I had my doctor put me back on phentermine, an appetite suppressant, so I could get away with eating around 600 calories a day. I eat a couple bites here and there, but I can't even stomach one full meal because of the medication I'm on, which allows me to allocate more food for my children. I've quite literally been starving myself, and since my man's wrongful termination, I have been down 20 pounds. You decided to use us as your argument as to why you support the abolishment of social programs such as SNAP, because we misappropriate the funds. Accused me of using our situation as rage bait, when had you watched any of the other videos, you would know that I was using our personal situation as a way to garner public perspective, to start a conversation. And there's actually been many people who I triggered with that video at first, and then after a conversation, were able to garner new information, set their ego aside, say I was wrong, apologize, and then change their perspective based off of the new information they acquired. Because when people argue about the system being abused, they often say that this system is in place for people who are working and struggling. People like our veterans and people who are disabled and unable to care for themselves that should be utilizing these programs. Well, my man's a veteran. I work 2 jobs. We have a disabled child, and we have 2 children that we care for. The oldest is in extracurriculars as well.
And Nate comes back with this video where he's basically just like, she's so obsessed with me. Oh my God, all these people need to be put on Ozempic and they need to see a dermatologist and like all this kind of crap. Like, not like even a glimmer, not even a glimmer of remorse.
Mom that used her EBT to spend $27 on cupcake for her autistic son's birthday is truly obsessed with me. She made this remix music soundbite of me saying, honestly, be so for real. Be so for real. Honestly, be so for real. Honestly, be so real. Honestly, be so real. She's made 10 plus videos tagging me in it, and then to the 50 people that have made videos about me, I was actually too busy doing my dissertation for my PhD to watch her videos. Additionally, I don't listen to people that look like they need Ozempic, that look like they need to go to the dentist, the orthodontist, like they look like they need to see the dermatologist. So, sorry, even if I did watch your videos all the way through, I wasn't gonna even take your advice. I said what I said. Did I stutter?
Like, he's one of the least compassionate people. I'm not saying he's the most, because I've seen some stuff on the TikTok streets. Out here going, not to flex, but I can afford $27 worth of cupcakes for my nephew without EBT. I cannot stand these people. And it makes me so upset because there are so many people that are suffering, and it's not just in the States, it's literally freaking everywhere. Thing is, this is exactly what he wants. Like, he wants people to get really wound up, but there is just absolutely zero compassion. There is zero compassion coming at any of the stuff he wants to say. And the thing that most gets me is that literally, like, he's out here on a soapbox being like, yes, I can tell you what to do, what not to do with your kids, which, by the way, I hate being told what not to do and what to do when by a stranger on the internet. I cannot stand it. But he's literally out here being like, yes, do this, do that, because I'm a former special ed teacher. You're a former special ed teacher. That does not give you any credentials whatsoever to be spouting out half the bullshit that you do on this app.
People on food stamps are buying junk food. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they're buying. They should have autonomy to buy and make that decision for themselves. I don't care. A happy belly is a fat belly.
You should care, Mr. Williams. As men who specialize in early childhood education, and since you're a social worker, you should know that feeding your kids unhealthy foods negatively impacts a developing child's brain, as well as their other domains of learning: physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and language skills. That type of feeding habit given to young children over the course of a long period of time significantly contributes to them having an inappropriate relationship with food and a poor concept of self as they grow up. So sit there with your smirk and say that people deserve to have autonomy to spend hard-earned taxpayer money on whatever they want. Honestly, I think they should go get a job and spend that hard-earned money on whatever they want. Honestly, be so for real.
He really pisses me off because it all over TikTok at the minute, from what I see, because obviously I get recommended pretty much like 80% American TikTok, and at the minute there are just people like pooling together. There's people like running around. I keep on seeing these people who are rushing around, loading up their stuff from like Costco and stuff, and donating to food banks. People setting up these little things like just outside their driveways, like little like tuck shop things with all of the basic things you need. People genuinely going to them. Not these people, right? These people just piss me off. And there's a reasoning why he's being called out. The sooner he just comes out and admits the fact he doesn't care about people, more or less doesn't care about people, doesn't care about children. I don't think you care about children. You're out here literally making fun of the fact that families are really not being able to feed their kids at the minute. Yet you're out here preaching about how we should like bring up kids. I'm like, you make zero sense. You make no sense whatsoever. Don't care. Don't want to give them any slack for it. That's how I feel about it. And that is basically what's been going on. And the fact that Jade, I mean, among what must be a lot of people, are literally going on appetite suppressants just so their kids can eat is just absolutely mind-bogglingly deplorable and horrible. It's a global issue. There's famines and people starving and disgusting stuff happening everywhere. And if you are somewhat of an empathetic person, this kind of content wouldn't even cross your mind to make. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. I'm really sorry it was like ultra rambly. You can blame it. You can blame it on my sickness. You can blame it on me being ill, and also just wanting to like keep certain people somewhat in check because we don't need this. We don't need this. Say it together. We do not need this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. It's actually my birthday on Thursday. And I've just noticed I'm about 20 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers, which is like actually crazy. I thought I might hit it on my actual birthday, which is Thursday, and now I'm just completely blown away that I might literally hit it today. So I want to create a video, definitely 100% want to create a little video for you guys. But thank you so much. But I will save the thank you so much for when that video comes out, when that post comes out. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.